about to give you the #1 business to start when you're looking to retire or when you're already retired, just to stay busy and supplement your retirement income. It's super simple, super casual, and that's the ice cream sundae, but the cherry on top is that you could actually make $5,000 to $10,000 a month pretty simply with 2 to 4 hours of work per day, keeping things simple and chill the way life should be for you now that you're retired. So I'm just gonna drive around and have a conversation with you about this business model, how it's affected people like my dad, who is retired now and is running this business himself, and some other people I've connected with. And I'm gonna walk you through high level, step-by-step how the business works. So let's go. Okay, so I'll address the elephant in the room. I'm obviously not retirement age and I'm not retired, and I'm kind of really grinding right now. So I'm not in the situation you're in, but I've identified a business and actually worked on a business myself that is the perfect candidate for somebody like yourself who is either looking to become retired or is already retired and looking for something to keep them busy while making a side income that can, you know, help them continue their life and keep the lifestyle that they want to continue to live. So in like just a minute, I promise I'll tell you exactly how it works. But first I want to talk to you about my father, who recently retired and was looking for his next thing. And because I had already been working on this business myself, I taught him how to do it, and now he is killing it, making thousands of dollars per month, casually talking to local businesses, and more on that in a bit, making connections, making thousands of dollars per month, helping other people. And I can really see how this is gonna help him flourish through his retirement and staying busy, which is very important because you never really wanna fully retire. That's not a good thing. In fact, I think there's something like the average age of death is within like a few years of retirement, which is not good. So you gotta keep yourself busy. And this is a great way to do that while, you know, funding your vacations, fund money to go out to dinner, funding your children's or your grandchildren's college, etc. Here's how this business works. I call it the 9x12 method. And the reason it's called the 9x12 method is because you take a 9x12 inch postcard and you actually sell individual ad slots on that postcard. So you're selling them to non-competing local businesses. You can see there's multiple slots. So instead of spending thousands of dollars per month on advertising, these businesses can spend, you know, $500 to all join a community mailer. And instead of being seen as junk mail, it's seen as, like I said, a community mailer. So you're helping small businesses that typically can't afford to do this sort of advertising. You're helping them win. And then you win because of it, because here's how the financials break down. So there's typically 16 slots on the card, right? And your first job is to just reach out to these businesses and get them to buy in. So they pay you $500 for a slot, typically. That's what I recommend. So that gives you $8,000 cash in your pocket in advance. And no, business owners are not skeptical and afraid to pay $500 to somebody they just met. That's honestly peanuts to most business owners for a valuable offer, which ours is. So you have $8,000 cash in hand, and now you collect all of their ad designs, or you can even offer ad design and just hire somebody really cheap, like my team, if you want to, that can actually take care of the designs for you. But that's a really simple part of the process. And then once you have all those designs, you put them all together on this digital postcard, and then you send them to the printer, and the printer will actually print the postcards. But if you use the right printing company, they'll also take care of the mailing. But I'm getting ahead of myself, because why are they paying you $500 for an ad on this postcard? Like, where does it go? Why is it worth $500? That's a great question. It goes to 5,000 households or 5,000 doors in your given town or your given county or zip code, right? So it's going to 5,000 doors in your town. That's the value. It's advertising for them. So they're, instead of paying $1 per door to send out mail themselves, they're only paying like 10 cents per door to go to 5,000 households, which is absolutely absurd. That's like a tenth of the price. That's the value that we bring. And so you might be wondering, where do we get all those 5,000 addresses to actually mail the postcards to? And that's a great question. You don't need a single address. And let me explain. So the US Postal Service has a system called the Every Door Direct Mail system. Is you just choose specific routes in your town, and the US Postal Service will send those postcards to every single door on those given routes. So instead of actually having to have specific addresses to mail to, you send them just to entire routes in your town. The benefit is it's about 1/3 of the price as well for postage. So you pay US Postal Service even less, so you get a majority of the profit. So We have the $8,000 cash in hand. We pay around $3,000 to print the cards, and then another roughly $1,000, $1,200 to mail the cards. You pay the postage, and you end up with, you know, $4,000 to $5,000 every time you sell out one of these postcards. And here's why I love this business. You're not selling anything. You're providing an opportunity to local businesses who typically can't afford to get on these community things. They can't afford to be in the newspaper. They can't afford to get in these magazines on like 12-month long contracts. And the benefit to you is you're making profit just, you know, talking to local businesses. You have a casual side hustle business and you're making connections. I personally made my best friend with this business. He was one of my advertisers. But this is why I love it for retired people, because you could spend 1 to 2 hours a day just having conversations, even just sending emails if you are an introvert, or making phone calls if you prefer to get yourself out there. Even going actually to the businesses has been a great thing. My dad, he just sometimes goes down to the shop and, you know, gets a sandwich and then like shows them a sample card, and he'll make an ad sale on the spot, pays for his sandwich and a lot more. So, I mean, there's just so many fun ways to connect and make sales. So this is why I love it for people who are trying to retire and start a business that doesn't have a ton of moving parts, because you're not trying to, you know, get even more gray hairs or lose your hair altogether. You're trying to reduce your stress but stay busy. I get it. And that's why I love this business for you. So obviously I'm not retirement age. I've already addressed that, but I've also done quite well in this business, scaling up to 3 cards per month. And now I've made it my goal and my passion to, 1, help people my age never have to join the rat race, or 2, help people your age escape the rat race and build a life of freedom. So those are my 2 passions, my 2 biggest goals now, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. And here's the thing, if you're still working your job and you feel like you can't just quit your job and go without any salary to start this business, that's totally fine, because this business can totally be done on the side alongside your job. And of course, it's not gonna be easy because you're working a full-time job. You might have to put in an extra hour a day when you just want to go watch Netflix, but it's not easy escaping the rat race. Nothing worth it is easy. Like, I think the world has shown you that by now. So yeah, no, it's not easy, but it is simple. You put in a simple hour or 2 per day of simple conversations and you will make sales. Just like one of our members of our community named Michael, he sold out his first card while working a full-time job and while working on another business, a woodworking business. And he was able to send himself on vacation to Tennessee. He was going to see the Grand Ole Opry. That's what he was able to do because he had his full-time income, but then he also sold out a card within 1 month on the side. So he had $5,000 cash extra that he never would have had before. So, I mean, he could have saved that for retirement. He could have sent himself on vacation like he did. He could have donated it. There's so many things you can do with this extra cash now, or you can just stockpile it to give you that security to then eventually actually be able to quit your job. Because here's the best part about this business, it gets easier over time. Now, it wasn't easy to start, but it gets easier over time, and here's why. You have these advertisers on this card, but this card, you can send a card out every month in the same town, and that benefits the advertisers because the whole effect of mail marketing becomes better over time. So advertisers are gonna want to repeat. So you have repeat advertisers every month, which means you have less spots to sell every single month. So the more advertisers you get to stick to the card, the less and less and less spots you'll have to sell every month. And then you'll have time to, you know, start selling out a second card. And for reference, I was doing 2 cards a month with about 3 to 4 hours of work per day, which was pretty crazy, to be honest. But that just goes to show, like, it gets exponentially simpler over time. Not to mention the word of mouth, the connections you're making. Like, it just kind of snowballs, especially if you're building a bit of a social presence. Believe me, you'll fall in love with this. This isn't just a business, this is a lifestyle. And in the meantime, you're helping small businesses in your town succeed in ways they wouldn't be able to. So now I've been talking to you for probably like 10 minutes, and you're probably wondering, why is this guy wasting his time giving us this advice? Why is he even like adding to his competition if he sells cards too? Well, here's the truth. I have grown so passionate about what this business did for me and for my dad that my true passion now is to just spread the word about this business. And that's just some people were born to sell and others were born to teach. And honestly, I think I'm a teacher, and I think I want to see other people succeed as much as I did and as much as my dad is doing. And I want to see people be happy and escape the rat race. So that's why I'm spreading this information. And I do still have a couple cards running where I've taken somewhat of a backseat because I've been able to take on help. But honestly, I'm not worried about the competition because there's over 40,000 zip codes in the United States of America. And the reality is, most of you guys are never going to take action, sadly. I see a lot of people that just don't take action. So I'm just not worried about this industry becoming too saturated anytime soon. So I'll just keep helping you guys win, and I'll win with you. So yeah, you can be skeptical of that, but that's what it is. Yeah, I do have something to sell you. But honestly, I don't think it needs to be sold. I think it speaks for itself, and all the testimonials speak for themselves when you go on there. But I do have a community of 9x12ers just like you. There's 2,600 9x12ers in there, almost 2,700 9x12ers, where we're all talking about our wins. We have live calls every week, and attached to that community is a course that holds your hand step by step through selling out your first card, like step by step. Like, there is nothing missing in there, but there's no extra fluff. I don't care about fluff. I gave you exactly what you need and nothing else, and you can literally copy it word for word. I have the scripts word for word, everything you could possibly need word for word. And the most successful people in that community are the ones that are just copying the course. And like I said, don't take my word for it, take their word for it. Go check out the testimonials, go check out the wins. I have a picture that's like it's like a checkerboard of everybody's wins. There's just dozens and dozens and dozens of people making sales, making thousands of dollars a month, just changing their lives, escaping their careers that they hate. We have people from all walks of life in there, and it's just a flourishing community of people trying to help each other win. There's no like competition mindset. Everybody's asking for advice, people are giving advice, and there's all sorts of other freebies in there, like tools and templates, like I said, scripts, pre-made ad designs so that you don't have to work as much on the ads, everything you could possibly need. But honestly, you're probably not at the point yet where it makes sense to join that group. So instead, you should watch this video where I truly break down in an organized fashion, not sitting in my car driving, step by step, exactly how to work through this business and sell out your first card. Watch this video, see what you think, validate if it's something that you'd like to try out, and whether or not you decide to join the community. I hope you subscribe because I can't wait to see you win. Take it easy.